store, man. Nobody calls Han Solo a bitch.
Bring him on. I prefer a straight fight to all this sneaking around.
I don't know where you get your delusions, laser brain.
Oh, come on, bro. It's the wars.
So this week is a very interesting week. Just a few short months ago, we were really looking forward to this week with lots of anticipation. But now, it's just kind of a normal week. This is The Wars and More. I'm Joe. And of course, with me is my good buddy, Doug. Hey, Doug, how you doing this week?
Doing pretty good, Joe. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. A little bummed.
Right.
A little bummed. This was Celebration Week.
Yes.
So we were, like I said, just a few months ago, we were like, man, Celebration. There's going to be some good stuff coming to Celebration, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
You know, we were talking about all the movies coming down the, in the pipeline.
Right.
All the shows that are in the pipeline.
Yep.
So books, comics, games.
Yeah. Yeah.
And here we are.
Yeah.
Here we are. Just kind of crickets chirping in the background.
Exactly.
I mean, understandable, right? This is not normal times.
No, for sure.
We are not in normal times. This is not the fault of Disney, Lucasfilm, whatever. This is the fault of, that virus.
Yeah.
But it doesn't take away the sting, right?
Oh, for sure.
It's no one person's fault, but it doesn't take away the sting of it.
Absolutely.
In fact, it kind of adds to it, right? Because you got no one to blame.
Well, this is true. I mean, it seems to be a running theme lately. Everything that you looked forward to all summer long here, it has been, things have been altered as to how you do it, or it's just been flat out canceled or postponed, and it's like, man, okay, and here we are. Star Wars is not immune, so
there's a certain satisfaction to be able to blame someone, right?
Yeah, oh, for sure. There's no doubt.
And we don't have that either, so that sucks.
Yep.
I kid. Kind of. But, there is something that I can kind of get irritated about.
What's that?
So there's still some joy in that, right?
Yeah.
Not that I get joy about getting irritated. But so I was watching the Star Wars show today.
Okay, yep.
All right. Finally got around to watching it. And dude, they had this ad in the middle talking about the Celebration shop.
Yeah.
And I found this kind of insulting because for the first time ever, all that in merchandise you miss out on every Celebration is now open to everyone.
Oh yeah.
Really?
All the stuff that you have to be there for, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no one's going to be there.
Exactly.
Let's be real here. Don't insult me. You made a bunch of shit you can't sell.
Right. Yeah, no, that's kind of funny.
I understand, okay? Let me make this clear. I understand this is what you made a bunch of stuff. Celebration's not happening. Star Wars fans still want this stuff. And you know that.
This is true.
So you're going to sell it.
Yeah.
Cool. Fine. Don't try to sell it as this first time ever awesome opportunity.
Right.
Okay? Because I'll tell you what, I'm sure every Star Wars fan is like super excited to get this merchandise for Celebration Anaheim 2020. That's literally what it says on the merchandise. That Celebration that didn't happen? Yeah, that's what it says on it.
Right. I think the venue is actually not important anymore, right?
So that's the point where you can see right through it, right? You can see that they made this beforehand.
Yes.
This is probably why they were putting it off for so long. Because they're like, crap, we made all this stuff.
Right.
Let's just wait and see if we can still do it. But no, instead we're going to sell it like, oh, this is a once in a lifetime, chance. You get the stuff that you miss out on every celebration.
That's
Look,
funny.
don't insult me. And I have a bunch of celebration merchandise because I've been to them.
Right.
But like, I'm insulted for the other fans too that have missed out on this merchandise in the past and looked at my stuff going, man, that's awesome. Like, and I'll say this, now that they're doing this and they're advertising it like this is not something you can stop doing.
Exactly.
In 2022, you cannot go back to this all being exclusive to the people who go to the convention.
Right.
Because that just adds the insult.
Yeah, if this is, we're going to do this and it's going to be first time ever, people are going to be expecting it now moving forward. So,
Right.
Yeah, all these, the exclusives and all that kind of stuff, I get it, exclusives, if you're there, that's kind of like part of the deal. But,
Oh, and they're still tagging it all as celebration exclusives.
see, yeah, exclusives, but without the celebration, right?
Right. And like I said, I just find it so insulting. Like, look, we know these are unprecedented times. This is not something that could have been foreseen.
Right.
When they were planning this convention, they planned on having a convention. These unforeseen circumstances blew that up.
Yep.
Don't try to sell it as something it's not.
That's funny. Seems like they could have made it work. I mean, if they'd have just had an advertisement that came out and said, "Hey, look, we got all this stuff. Star Wars fans like stuff. Here it is. Come buy it." I think that would have been just as good.
And there's tons of ways they could have approached this. We know you love following online. This year, you don't even get that luxury. So we've made the decision as a, consolation prize in this, unprecedented time. We made extra stuff. Now, we saw how this was going to work out. We said, okay, no, we're not going to stop the presses. We're going to continue to make stuff, and we're going to make extra stuff, and we're going to open it to everybody. Not just people who have tickets, but everybody.
Right.
We don't want to lose sight of Celebration is not just a convention. It's not just, it's not like Comic-Con. This is a celebration of Star Wars and our fandom for Star Wars. And since we can't have this celebration this year and do all the things we do both at the convention and online, we're going to celebrate in other ways. Here's all kinds of stuff that's going to be available for a limited time.
Yep.
Open to everyone. No one's excluded.
I like it. Yeah.
These are ways to sell it, not like for the first time ever.
Which, although it may be true, it's not like they were planning that from the start, right?
Yes, it is a misdirection from the fact that you have a surplus of stuff that you're not going to be selling at a convention. Therefore, people will probably be less apt to jump at it, right?
Right.
There's a certain allure to buying merchandise like that for an event you're at, right? I.e. concert t-shirts, right?
Yeah,
You're at
yeah.
a concert.
It's the I was there purchase. Yeah.
Yes. Yes, and there's a certain amount of spending that's going to get reduced because there's not that I was there value to it.
Right.
So they know they're going to have merchandise that they can't move. So they chose to advertise it in a way that is just kind of a jackass kind of move.
Yeah, well, maybe
It's not acknowledging the situation.
Right.
It's ignoring the situation and making it out to be something it's not.
Yeah, that's the
I mean,
real point.
I could be that guy that's reading too much into it, but no, dude, that ad was something else. That ad was made. Now, if this was in the plans from the beginning, okay?
Yep.
If this is something they were going to do from the start, and that is for real, honest, right? They for sure were going to do this anyway. I completely rescind everything I'm saying right now. But that had to have been in the plan from the start.
I was going to say, yeah, it's hard to believe that it was. That's for sure.
I mean, and it's totally not fair because I'm never going to believe you if you tell me, oh, yeah, it was.
We were always going to do this. Yeah.
So, I mean, it's completely unfair, right? But, I mean, if it is actually true, I do apologize, but I don't think it was.
Yeah.
I think this is a crap. We got all this stuff. We're not going to be able to move. Let's figure something out.
Right.
Which, once again, I do understand, but I think there were better ways of going about it.
Absolutely.
Now, they are going to be opening the sales, and this podcast will be out before the pre-release or after the pre-sale starts. Okay, so the pre-sale will begin on August 28th at 12 p.m. That'll be for ticket holders.
Okay.
And that includes fans who even requested refunds.
Okay, well, that's good of them.
That is a nice consolation.
Yes.
So there is some good in here.
Yep.
They do some things right.
Yeah.
And then 3 days later, on the 31st, it will be open to everybody.
Nice.
So whether you bought tickets or not, you'll be able to get your hands on some of this exclusive Celebration merchandise, which includes a lot of the 40th anniversary of Empire Strikes Back.
Ah, real nice.
All the pins. The pin collecting is a big thing that's Celebration now, right?
Right.
You know, that's that Disney, footprint.
Right.
And there's some pretty cool merchandise in here, man. There's some pretty cool stuff. You see a lot of people got the Porg window clings now because of the Porg that, ended up on the viewport for the Falcon.
Right.
So you got that suction cup Porg for your car window.
Yes, I have one. Yes.
Yeah. But do you have a Minoc?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
See, now I think I'd like that even better.
There is a Minoc.
Awesome.
And there's some cool plushies. There's like a Luke that's all blue and frozen looking. And
Yeah.
you can put him inside a stuffed Tauntaun. So there's some pretty cool merchandise in here. It's not bad.
Right.
And I don't expect anything less. I've been to Celebration. I've seen the merchandise that's there. There's always some cool stuff. Some stuff you just like, wow, I got to have that.
Right.
So.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, there's some good stuff here. And I'm gonna be an ass for saying this.
Uh-oh.
I'm guessing they're gonna give you the authentic Celebration experience.
Uh-huh.
So you have tickets. You got the pre-sale for 3 days. I'm guessing the first 36 to 48 hours the store's not going to work.
Yes.
They're going for realism here. You're going to be in this virtual queue. You'll get disconnected. You'll get back in line. And it'll take hours and hours, and then you'll finally get through, and there's no merchandise left. No one was able to get into the store, but there's no merchandise. It's crazy.
Yeah, I love it.
Sorry, I kid. But the store, at the celebrations I've been to, the first day is not a good time to go to the store. Just saying.
You said, you want to give you that true experience.
Yeah, it's realism, man. It's realism.
Right.
It's simulation.
Awesome.
All right. Where to next, Doug? Where do you want to go next?
Oh, I don't know. let's I guess let's hear from the one guy who's like still going around and giving interviews these days. How's that?
Wait. Is this our new favorite?
Oh, you know it is.
I'm never upset to hear from him.
Right. So we are talking about Giancarlo Esposito. He's been making the rounds for The Boys, right? Coming out with season 2, I guess. And I haven't watched that show. Sure, it's great. But of course, whenever you have a Star Wars actor interviewing about anything else that they're doing, Star Wars always comes up.
As is customary.
Yes, always. So it's funny because, you know, he has been known to kind of like let little hints out of the bag here and there and kind of, maybe some things can be read into what he says sometimes, but I got the impression from this first thing that maybe as he was saying what he was saying, he was kind of like rethinking what he should have been saying. So he was talking about whether he'd rather be in a movie or TV show.
And would I have liked to have been in a Star Wars movie as opposed to the Mandalorian television show? I think my choices are significantly. I think I've made this a significantly correct choice.
I would tend to agree.
Yes,
but normally you wouldn't expect people to say such a thing. But it's. I just thought it was kind of funny. But,
yeah, I mean, he's like, look, have you been to Rotten Tomatoes?
Exactly. with this divided as things have been on the movies. Yeah, he's probably thinking, hey, this television show here that everybody loves. Yes, I'm in the right spot.
He's like, look, I did this show, right?
Yeah.
The Star Wars fans love me.
Exactly.
Why would I want to do a movie?
Right.
That doesn't happen with the movies.
Exactly. So I just thought that was funny. It almost seemed to me like he's like, maybe I don't know. I don't want to say he was throwing shade at the movies, but he was kind of like, acknowledging out loud that he maybe was glad he wasn't chosen to be in a film. So kind of funny.
But at the same time, let's just be fair there and just throw this other side of the argument out there.
Uh-huh.
Maybe he's just excited to be on something as groundbreaking as The Mandalorian.
Sure, of course. I mean,
this is not something that has been done in Star Wars before. I shouldn't say like it's not something that's been done in TV before, because there's been big budget, and I'm throwing up the quote marks here, right? TV.
Right.
There's been big budget TV, and that's, straight to Netflix, straight to HBO Max, stuff like that.
Sure.
So yeah, it's not groundbreaking budget wise, but I think for what they're doing with their money, it is.
Yeah, absolutely. We are definitely getting what is rapidly approaching full feature quality in a TV show for sure.
Yes, it's definitely film quality entertainment.
Yes. So he goes on to talk about what really attracted him to this gig, and this was kind of funny too.
because what drew me to Star Wars was the mythological aspect of storytelling. And Jon Favreau, in his great visionary way, has educated himself and partnered with David Filoni. So that mythology that was so connected to what George Lucas loved, he was a friend of Joseph Campbell, who wrote the mythological books about the heroes that I have read that allow people to be empowered.
Got news for you, Giancarlo. Those books are real. They're not mythological.
You're splitting hairs here.
I know, but I just thought that was funny. I think the book he's referring to is The Hero with a Thousand Faces, Joseph Campbell. And, you know, it's just funny. I mean, he's going down the right path. He knows what he's wanting to say. He's just, you know, coming out a little.
Yeah, he's referring to the mythological references that Joseph Campbell uses in explaining the hero's journey, right?
Right. Yes.
So, yes, get it.
Yeah. All those things
books themselves weren't mythology.
Yes, this is
true. They were actual books.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, he seems like, and I'll say this, he seems like a very excitable guy, right?
For sure.
You know, he's getting going. He's just excitable. And that's what makes it so fun, right? Because when you get excitable like that, you slip up and you say stuff you probably shouldn't say.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's what we love about Mark Hamill.
Yep. For sure.
That's what we loved about Carrie Fisher.
Yep.
And that's what's putting Giancarlo Esposito up to the top of our list and favorite people to listen to, because he gets so excited when he starts talking about this stuff that he is the one we pay attention to if we want what's going on.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, you don't get that excitable about something if you don't have a passion for it, right?
Yeah,
so
he obviously enjoys doing it.
For sure. And
because you wouldn't get that ramped up.
Exactly. And that's, I love hearing it. So it's awesome. So, just one more thing from him. He apparently, gets to do his own stunts. So
I did all of my stunt work on my own without a lot of rehearsal, even though it's a fairly big budget technological piece with the volume and all the things that are going on. Sometimes that leaves less time to pay more attention to. And the stunt work, by the way, has been honored with an Emmy nomination as well to do that.
Oh man. Oh man, I don't want to pick on him, but I do.
Go ahead.
Because it's it's like he drew inspiration from a politician,
right?
On this one,
yeah, a little bit.
Like, look, no one's ever done stunts like this before. You know, this is completely new with this, and no one before us. It's great. It's great. I'm telling you, you'll be blown away.
It'd be tremendous stunts.
It'd be tremendous.
Oh, I love it. It's all in fun, right?
Plug that back in. Yeah, it's all in fun. It's all in fun. And like I said, it's his excitable nature, I think, that it's just he's thinking about everything he wants to say, and getting it all out there is hard because he's just so ramped up about it. And I love it.
You know, it's funny because he's talking, you know, he's proud of the fact that he was able to do all of his own stunts, obviously. And then, you know, the show for season 1 did get an Emmy nomination for the stunt work. So, you know, and he's proud of being a part of all that. And it's, you know, clearly that's an awesome thing. It just It's just funny the way it came out there.
Yeah, it's almost like just like, I guess if I had one little piece of advice, maybe just one less coffee
Right.
before,
Yeah.
because he's just ramped up and excited.
Or not. Just keep doing what you're doing because we're loving hearing it.
Oh yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I love the like. Wait, did he just say that this is gonna happen?
Right.
So,
Yes.
yeah, I love that. And no, he shouldn't change a thing. I kid. He definitely shouldn't change a thing because this is what, like I said, we're putting him up there with Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher. This is what they were. They were unfiltered.
Absolutely.
They got excited. They were passionate about what they did, and they were in the moment, and they just said what they wanted to say. And Mark talks about all the crap he got about leaking stuff, and
Right. Yes. And
yeah, I'm sure Giancarlo's getting crap about the stuff he said.
yes. Hey, if not, he should be.
Oh, he is.
Yes.
He is. But yeah, just keep doing what you're doing. We love it. I absolutely love this guy. When this show's done and run its course, I'm gonna be so sad.
Oh, I know. I know.
Or when his character arc finishes. Because man, I love hearing from him.
Absolutely.
It's that he's becoming a show favorite. And he's doing it at the perfect time because we're getting to the point where we're gonna have to find someone to fill that Mark Hamill void that we're
Right. Yes.
so, and he's doing it just perfectly. Have something to add to the conversation, or you just want to let us know how we're doing? Email us, show@thewarsandmore.com. That's the best place to get in on the action. But if social media is a little more to your liking, @TheWarsAndMore on Twitter is always a good place to interact with us. And we're also on Facebook, facebook.com/TheWarsAndMore. And of course, your portal to this and everything else, The Wars and More, is thewarsandmore.com. All right, so we've had some new listeners join us in the past few months and probably wondering, why is this show called The Wars and More? All they do is talk about the wars. Well, in its inception, we wanted to talk about more than just that. We, especially like Doug and I, really have a passion for DC as well. Right?
Yeah.
And we also like Marvel, and we even delve into a little bit of the Trek every once in a while. So we didn't want to close ourselves off from being able to talk about other stuff.
Right.
Well, this is one of those times because in between shows here, DC Fandom went on. Okay, this was a 24-hour event where they went over all the happenings in the DC universe. And there were some pretty exciting things in there.
Nice.
So, one of the notables is the Suicide Squad.
Right on.
First off, I gotta say, when you're doing a sequel to something,
Yeah.
adding the to it,
I know. This is, I don't know,
I mean, I guess
marketing.
I guess the jury's still out on whether this is actually a sequel. There's been some speculation that this is kind of a reboot of sorts, but not a reboot. Like they're going to leave some things alone, kind of give it the DC treatment. Like, yeah, that happened, but did it really?
Right. So this is one place that DC, they are not so precious with quote unquote canon. That, they got a story somebody wants to tell. Yeah, go ahead, tell it. And how it affects other stories. Yeah, we're not so worried about that. That's for sure.
Yeah, you got to keep in mind that DC introduced stuff like the multiverse,
Right.
Flashpoint.
Yes. Elseworlds.
Like, so you not only did you have like alternate universes, but you could actually like change time.
Yeah. Right.
And when you change time, that completely changed everything that happened. So when the Flash did something, he could wipe out the whole canon.
Yeah.
So yes, DC not so precious with the canon,
Right.
not like Star Wars is.
Exactly.
You know, like when Disney took over Star Wars, they relegated all that stuff to Legends content, right? It's not part of the canon.
Yeah.
DC wouldn't have bothered with that.
Oh no.
They would have said, okay, now here's why this happened. See, you know, the Flash went back in time
Right.
and he changed this, which completely changed the course of events. So here we are.
Exactly.
All that stuff did happen, but it's been reset.
Yeah.
So this could be one of those situations. DC, who knows?
Yeah.
But you saw the trailers, right?
I did.
Well,
I did.
these are, I say trailers, and I'm going to put them fingers up again. Quote,
Right.
trailer. This was like with Star Wars, we saw the behind the scenes trailers, right?
Yep.
The stuff we saw for the UNICEF drives and things like that.
Right.
So they introduced the characters. They kind of gave a sneak peek at what they're going for story wise. What you think?
I like it. I like the way it looks. This is a pretty character heavy cast here, right? I mean, seems like there's a lot of people at play here from the DC universe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's like 100 people showing up for this one.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Anyone stand out to you? Like actor, character?
well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, clearly, you know, Harley Quinn. We have Margot Robbie again.
Yeah.
Which, you know, she did a fabulous job with that role before. So, I don't know. Why? Yeah, I think you're heading somewhere.
Well, there was one character in particular. I can't remember if he was actually in the trailer that they showed. But I know he was brought up along the way. Is Nathan Fillion is playing a character in the Suicide Squad.
Oh, I did not see this.
Oh, I'm glad I could blindside you with
Why,
something.
yes.
So Nathan Fillion, another thing Doug and I have in common here is we love the show Firefly.
Right.
So Nathan Fillion, known for Firefly, Castle. For those who've never seen Firefly, you may have seen Castle.
Right. Now the rookie.
He's going to have a part to play in the Suicide Squad. There's a lot of rumors on what his character is.
Okay. Interesting.
So, just anything else? I cracked up John Cena.
Right. Yes. Yeah. What? God, what was it he said? His character is kind of like a douchey Captain America, something like that.
Yeah, that cracked me up.
Yes.
It's like, yeah, you know, he finds bad people and he kills them.
Right.
Like, whoa. But he's like, all right, got it.
Yeah. That's funny. So I get the feeling that this thing's going to have a lot of the humor that, you know, that a lot of these characters are known for, to go along with, you know, all the action and the storyline and all that. So far from what I've seen, you know, it's got me interested. You know, I'll be anxious to see how it goes over, you know.
So,
Looking good to me, though.
you know, with the first Suicide Squad film, we got Jared Leto's Joker.
Yes.
And it has been put out there now that his Joker will not be included in this film.
Okay.
And there's a lot of people out there saying, well, this is why, because he was over the top, because he was this. What do you think of that?
Well, when you say over the top, I would say visually, yes, maybe. But as far as like Jared Leto's acting and the way that the character was written, he was a good Joker.
Yeah, I think visually this Joker gets a bad rap, and he gets a bad rap purely because of that.
Yeah.
It's purely the damaged tattoo, the J on his cheek, the
Right.
grill.
Yes.
Everybody's like, oh, this Joker was over the top. But when you actually like look at how he played the character, it's like, dude, that guy was nuts.
Exactly.
But not only was he nuts, but he was a criminal mastermind
Right.
and brutal.
Yep.
Check, 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 check.
Yeah. Yep. That's all Joker. That's what we're looking for.
So I think like you take that whole look they gave him, which is totally a fault of the writing team and totally the fault of the director, not of Jared Leto.
Right.
He came in, was told, you're going to do this. You're going to look like this. He didn't come in and say, hey, I want a grill and a damaged tattoo and all these.
Yeah,
He
exactly.
didn't do that. So I don't know. The character itself is getting a bad rap from that film, in my opinion, purely because of the way he looks.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
And disappointed that he won't be making appearances going forward, because Harley Quinn, there's always, no matter what, there's always Joker appearing somewhere, because this is a very toxic relationship between them.
Right.
And it's a very, love, then hate, and
Yeah.
leaving, and like it's this crazy, just like I said, toxic dynamic.
Exactly.
And it's going to be interesting to see Harley Quinn completely separated from that.
Yeah. Although it's going to be weird, but I give the character of Harley Quinn a chance to like shine and come out as a leader. I mean, because
Agreed.
you did always feel that she did have that attachment to the Joker in the first Suicide Squad. She's constantly looking to get back to him, kind of thing. And I like the way you put that too. The toxic, I guess you could call it what, toxic codependency they had going on. That's kind of how it works, though.
Even in the Harley Quinn animated series, they do a lot of Harley Quinn's character without the Joker.
Okay.
But the Joker's always kind of in there because, she's got this like, well, he made me, there's this attachment to him, and it's this toxic thing.
Right.
She doesn't want to be. But much like the Joker, she's nuts too.
Right.
It's not something she can control. There's this attachment and this loyalty to the Joker. It's kind of ingrained in her character. And her fighting that is kind of important as she goes along. Because even in the other stuff where, the stuff we're used to seeing, when they're in their, fighting stage, right? If you
Right.
want to put it that way.
Yeah.
She's doing her best to, no, I don't need him. So it's going to be interesting to see her completely separate from that dynamic.
Yeah.
Not saying she needs it, Not saying she needs Joker to be around,
Right.
but this will be new.
Yeah. And like I was saying, it'll be cool to see her have that. And I'm going to assume she's going to be in kind of a leadership role because, I think there's a couple others, but no one as high profile as Harley Quinn that are carryovers from the first one. So
Yeah, as one of the few surviving members of
Right.
the last run of the Suicide Squad.
exactly.
I mean, and that's gonna be another thing, right? If this is a continuation of that story, right?
Yeah.
She left with Joker.
Yeah, it's true.
How does she end up back?
Hey, maybe we find out. Maybe it's maybe this is how the movie starts. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, and then the other thing is, not to just stick on the Joker here, but I'm gonna. It's not just about whether she needs him or not, and what she wants. He's always trying to get to her.
Oh yeah.
When they're not together, he's always just like laser focused on her, even though he's the one that left her to begin with.
Right. That's
He's the one that totally bailed on her.
that's the part that is so it's funny because the Joker and Harley Quinn do these things in a how do you put it, he pushes her away or just splits when she needs him, but when he doesn't have her, he's got to have her. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's got to get back to her, and vice
he's
versa
face
with
to
her.
face with Batman with her by his side, and he throws her in the way. Like,
Yes.
hey,
Exactly.
gets out of there.
Right. But there's a little part of all of us, I think, that do that sort of thing on a micro level. It's just not so big and audacious as it is with their relationship. It's
Right.
it's kind of funny. Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, it's not a bad thing, but it's going to be different because
Right.
never really seen Harley Quinn without the Joker around in some capacity.
It'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm definitely going to check it out. Definitely going to check it out. I mean, what I saw in that trailer, yeah, I'm in.
Right on.
Definitely shown enough to be worth a look.
Yeah.
I think there's only like one other returning character, right? And that's oh man, Viola Davis.
Yeah.
I hope I didn't say her name wrong. You know how I am with names.
No, I think it's right. Viola Davis. Yeah.
Yeah, but she plays Amanda Waller.
Right.
So I think she's the only other returning one.
Wasn't the one dude, the Aussie dude, coming back? I'm not sure.
Boomerang?
I don't know. I could be wrong, but I
Did he
thought I saw
die?
him. I don't know.
Oh no, he is coming back.
Okay.
Yeah, Captain Boomerang.
Okay.
Jai Courtney.
Cool.
Horrible names.
But yeah, beyond that, I don't think there's a whole lot reoccurring from the but that's enough, right? To make me believe that this is a continuation. So,
Yeah, I mean, and they're adding more big names.
yes.
You know, with Pete Davidson, John Cena, Idris Elba, Nathan Fillion. You know, they're not holding back.
Right.
Yeah, okay, Will Smith ain't coming back.
Right.
But did we really think Will Smith was going to be, in for the long haul as Deadshot?
Yeah, I know.
So, yeah, we knew that wasn't a long-term deal.
Right.
I mean, Will Smith has just always got too many things to going on to be like coming back all the time. He made like one exception, dude. That was Men in Black.
Yeah, exactly.
Otherwise, he like does something and he's on to the next thing.
Right.
He's probably one of the busiest dudes in Hollywood, right? It's like him, Tom Hanks, like, Samuel L. Jackson, Morgan Freeman. Like, these are the people that are in every movie that comes out.
Right.
So,
Oh, it's a true statement. It's
just the busiest dudes in Hollywood.
yes.
DiCaprio starting to rise as one of those again. Like, in everything. Brad Pitt. But yeah, all right. So, got to move on here. Ben Affleck. We thought he hung up his cape.
So we're only moving on a little bit. Gotcha. Same universe.
Just a little bit. We're sticking with the DC stuff, but you can't talk about DC without talking about Batman.
Right.
I mean, I guess we kind of did that. Suicide Squad, right? All Batman villains.
Yeah, exactly.
But so Affleck, it's coming back, man. He's not done.
Nice.
He will be returning as Batman for The Flash.
Okay. So this
So
is
still keeping him in that Justice League realm.
yeah. Huh. So there's I guess this is the part where you're saying so what you're saying is there's still hope.
Yes, I mean, for me, there's hope. I do not want to see this Justice League group get dissolved before they get to face their big villain.
No. I mean, I've said it before. I mean, with the way that movie ended, it just leaves you wanting more Justice League. So, and you basically have right at the end the Hall of Justice right there. It's like, I don't know, yeah. I'd love to see that continue on.
Yeah, I think so. They just lacked on setup, right?
Oh yeah.
Marvel they played the long game
Yes.
with setting up these films.
They did that well.
And Nick Fury was the connecting thread between all this.
Yep.
They tried to rush this thing. They did Batman versus Superman. That's supposed to be the connecting thread. And then let's do Justice League.
Right.
Like, what are you doing?
Exactly. They needed more of this. We had Aquaman come out after, right? Was Wonder Woman before or after Justice League?
Before.
Okay. But yes, there was not enough setup. I mean, we could have, I don't know, we could have had a lot more setting up for this big union of superheroes. That would have been awesome.
They needed to do, I hate saying this, but they needed to do a little bit of, that Marvel formula, right?
Yeah.
They needed Bruce Wayne showing up at the end of all these films.
Sure. That would have been really good.
Like, something's coming. We gotta, prepare. I'm assembling a team,
Right.
That needed to happen in individual movies, not bring 3 characters in with Batman versus Superman, and then in the beginning of Justice League, he goes and finds the other 2.
Yeah.
That was a misstep.
Yes. Totally.
Or other 3, rather.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
Because
should have been.
you can't judge a Justice League story on them facing down Steppenwolf.
Yeah. I mean,
that's just a punk villain.
Yeah. It was.
That's like saying you can't do the Avengers because Iron Man faced off against Whiplash.
Yeah. I mean, I hear you. I don't know. I would love to see a lot more out of these characters. Hopefully we can.
Like, and I feel like they went a little further with the first Justice League movie with using a actual central villain that they actually faced, as opposed to how the Avengers started with Loki being the manipulator in there.
Right.
They didn't actually face Loki. They faced an army that he brought in.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay, he was the villain, but he was a puppet. But they didn't actually face down like this powerful villain. They had to fight back this army and close this,
Yep.
portal.
Yeah. I gotcha.
At least Justice League had them fight a big bad, right?
Yep.
So I feel like it was just rushed. You're assembling the team, and then the team goes and does their first mission together in the same film. Whereas Marvel did do it masterfully and set up the team over a great length of time. At least introduce the characters.
Right. And you had some crossover here and there too.
Right.
Even if it was for a moment, you had characters show up in the other movies a little bit here and there.
Yeah.
Especially
that's all you need is a splash.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Give you hints of what the goal is.
Yes.
And yeah, they suffered from Batman vs Superman to Justice League. That was the setup. Too quick.
Right.
Too quick. But I feel like a second Justice League would just fare better. Because that development's out of the way. Now you can tell the story.
Exactly.
Now you can have them do the superhero thing. They go out, they get their ass kicked. They come back, they regroup, then they go beat them.
Exactly. They find the key to the weakness of whatever this villain is. Yeah.
Yep. It's the formula, right?
Yep. That's the formula for sure.
All right. We're not done with Batman. Did you see the trailer for The Batman?
Yes. Yes, of course I did. This is looking a little different here.
It's looking a little different, and I like it.
Yeah.
I like the look here. This is one of those about early on. They cast is it Robert Pattinson, right? The Twilight guy.
Right.
And everybody's like, "Oh my God, really? You're gonna cast the Twilight guy?"
Exactly.
And we said, whoa. Everybody just take a step back. You remember Heath Ledger? Remember what everybody said about Heath Ledger? Really? He's the Joker?
Right.
You're going to get this guy? How can he be the Joker? And now everybody's like, Heath Ledger's the greatest Joker ever.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. After seeing this trailer, I'm not saying he's going to be the best Batman ever. No way. There's a lot of competition out there.
Yeah.
But it seems like he is going to bring a very serviceable Batman to the table.
Yeah, it's looking like it.
I'll tell you what, there's one line in that trailer that stuck with me. And they're like, "Who are you?" "I am vengeance."
Yes.
What?
I know, dude. I have to say, I was flashing back to Michael Keaton at that moment, and I was expecting to hear, "I'm Batman."
Yeah, that's what he said. I was like, he says, "I am." I'm like, Batman. I know. Vengeance. What?
Right.
Whoa, dude. What? Vengeance. I mean, yeah, I guess it's kind of what he was going for, right?
Yeah.
And I've seen this whole thing going around. Oh, Batman's not about vengeance. I'm like, what? Like, wait. So this dude's parents die,
Right.
and he decides he's gonna dress up as a bat and go out and kick the crap out of every bad guy out there. And you're telling me this dude's not about vengeance?
Right.
Okay, maybe he didn't say it.
Yeah, but I think you're missing something here.
He's got a vendetta against every bad guy out there
Right.
because of what happened to his parents.
Yes.
That is vengeance.
So,
Yeah.
Couple other things from this trailer, right? I just make mention, this is a visual that kind of caught me, and I was like, ooh, I like that. We get to see, like, the Batmobile from behind,
Mm-hmm.
and it's got, like, that single turbine engine, jet engine kind of thing kicking. That reminded me of the old Adam West Batmobile. It was like, ooh, that's kind
But
of
at
cool.
the same time, like you see, like they do this whole kind of shot of it. At the
Uh-huh.
same time, it kind of looks like a muscle car.
Right?
I saw that. I was like, wow, that's a completely new take on the Batmobile, but kind of pulling elements.
Right. Yeah.
What we've seen in the past, like you said, the Adam West. Like, yeah, wow.
And I gotta say, Riddler, dang. It's gonna be dark.
See Penguin in there?
No. Oh, missed that.
Huh?
I missed that.
What is his name? I had it. It's right on the tip of my tongue. I am looking it up because Colin Farrell. Did you see him?
Colin Farrell. I did not notice.
Okay.
Wow.
It's a quick hit in the trailer. But dude, he's totally the Penguin.
Okay. Interesting.
But yes, the Riddler. Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah. Like you said, this one's going dark. This one's going real dark, it looks like.
It looks like they're taking some of the successes of Gotham.
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
Gotham had a lot of tonal changes
Right.
to some of these characters, especially with the Riddler.
Yeah. I was going to say, though, the Riddler in Gotham wasn't quite as dark as this one looks like.
No. It's definitely a step further,
Right.
but you take the Riddler from Gotham, and he was like a lot of people think of the Riddler and they think of Jim Carrey.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
And I was even seeing some comments on the video feed, and they're like, Jim's the best Riddler ever. I'm like, dude, shut up.
Oh, stop. Yes.
Like, no, just not good. Just not good. Like that was not good.
Right.
I mean, he played the Riddler and tried to be a little too much Joker in that. Like it was,
Yeah.
that was not the Riddler.
Yeah. It was not good.
He had elements, especially before he was like completely nuts. When he was a little more kind of like the Brainiac kind of dude,
Yeah.
and he was developing his plan. Okay, Jim Carrey nailed that stuff.
Yeah. Exactly.
But when he was in the green spandex
Yeah.
playing like a game show, no, that's not the Riddler.
Yeah.
That's not any bit like any Riddler we'd ever seen before that. Gotham Riddler is actually a lot like the comic book Riddler.
Yeah. And yeah, that's a show you turned me on to, and I am glad I saw, because that was
That
an
was a good
excellent
show,
show.
wasn't
Excellent show. Yes. If you're in DC and you haven't seen Gotham, do yourself a favor.
I mean, you're not going to see, if you're looking for Batman, if you're looking for super great Bruce Wayne moments,
was going to say
You're not going to get that.
it
There's
is
some good ones.
it has got everything but Batman, and that's what's kind of cool about it.
Right. It's a lot of good Jim Gordon.
Yes.
It's a lot of good Riddler, Penguin. You know, even Mr. Freeze.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of good stuff in Gotham. But I'd say tonally, this trailer for the Batman, it's taking the successes of Gotham and rolling with it a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe tilting the needle a little more to that darker side, maybe towards the DC animation side of things.
Okay.
So if you've ever seen any of the DC animated films, they're much grittier, much darker, much more violent.
I was going to say this appears to be all of that.
Yes. But it was a very exciting trailer for the little bit we got to see. I hardly recognized Robert Pattinson.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree. I mean, I'm not very familiar with him. To be
Me
perfectly
either.
honest.
I know him from the, going to the theater and seeing the Twilight posters and trailers and things like that. I mean, I've seen 2 of the films, I think.
Okay, yeah, I haven't seen any, so
Yeah, I was forced to watch them.
yeah, of course. Hey, that's how it goes.
Not super impressed. I mean, I'll tell you what, it did have, being a fantasy fan,
Uh-huh.
it had some stuff that was entertaining.
Okay.
But it had a lot of stuff that I just don't care about.
Right.
I mean, I'm talking about Star Wars and DC and things like that. I mean, love stories aren't just what I'm gravitating towards.
Yeah. Well,
But yeah, I'm super stoked at what we've seen. It's what we said to hold your judgment for when he was announced as Batman.
right.
And I think we're in for a treat with this. I mean, just kind of like, even Joaquin Phoenix being announced as the Joker.
Right.
People are like, "Oh, come on, really?" It's like, dude, haven't we learned by now to just wait?
I was going to say, yeah, we've got to let these things play out to actually see what we're going to end up with, because sometimes it's gold. So
Yeah, I mean, you got to keep in mind when Leonardo DiCaprio is an actor that I use as an example for this. He had a certain type of film that he was known for in the beginning, right?
right.
And kind of got dismissed whenever his name was announced for anything. People are like, "That guy, really?"
Right.
It's like, look, they're playing a role. That's not necessarily just them. Like, they're gonna play that same role when they play the Batman. It's not like, he's gonna play whatever his character's name was from Twilight when he's playing the Batman.
Right.
It's not gonna be the same character. Just like Heath Ledger's not gonna go in there and the Joker's gonna be like he's playing A Knight's Tale.
No.
It's two characters. They're actors. They're there to play a role. And the reason why they're actors is because they can step into different roles.
Right.
So, open mind.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, there are people out there, sure, they can't play any role but one that they're set out for. But that is not the majority of actors.
Right.
Majority of actors are versatile and will surprise you.
Well, let's hope. It looks good so far.
So far, stamp of approval. Could be wrong.
Right.
Trailers are deceiving that way. But yeah, so far so good.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Last thing. Kathleen Kennedy had some things to say about the future of Star Wars.
Right. So apparently, how are they putting it? They're taking a step back for a little while in regards to Star Wars films. So this is kind of an interesting take, and there's one little gotcha in here that I just kind of like. I my jaw dropped. I couldn't believe when I heard, but so she says, okay, so that, taking a step back, that's what we've been doing, and we've been having a great deal of fun doing it, and meeting with lots of different filmmakers and talent, right? So apparently they're like on the search for, but
yeah, they're doing a new thing now. It's called interviews.
Yeah, exactly. There's so many fans out there and so many filmmakers that have been influenced by Star Wars for so long that it's a fantastic opportunity to get a sense of who wants to be a part of this. Everybody? I mean, I don't know. Just guessing. She goes
I'm
on.
gonna go with everybody.
Yeah. She goes on. Yeah, that's the thing, right? She's like heading up a franchise here that you almost have to, she has to understand she's in the driver's seat, right? Like just about anybody she asks is going to say, okay, yeah, sure. And then,
I will say this. Every time I hear stuff like this and I hear these kinds of comments, I'm surprised because given Kathleen Kennedy's background and her record over the years, it seems so shocking that she's not as up to speed with a project she's taking on.
Right.
Because in the past, she has seemed so up to speed.
Yeah. Well, she's been what? Producers on films forever, right?
Right.
But there's a part of me that wonders if, is Star Wars just another film property that, she doesn't quite grasp the depth of Star Wars. I don't know. This paragraph right here.
Maybe early on she just grasped onto the wrong thing. Misinterpreted.
Maybe.
I don't know. I'm trying to.
Well, here.
Rationalize, right?
Listen to this. She says, stories have been told within this universe over the last 40 odd years. And there's now the realization that this is a mythology that actually spans about 25,000 years. Okay. When you really start to look at all the different stories that have been told, whether in books and comics. So there's now the realization that the story spans that amount of time. I think all of us have known that for,
close to 20 years.
20 years now. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, the 90s, right? Like,
yeah.
Let's just use the 90s. Like, I believe you mentioned to me earlier, Tales of the Jedi.
Yeah. Yeah. Those stories go back.
93.
Right.
4,000 years before the Battle of Yavin.
Right. And how I understand that, people can be busy, but it's like, how can there not be like dozens upon dozens of people at Lucasfilm saying, arm up in the air, ooh, 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 we have all of this other backstory that we can pull from. You know, I'm a
I
bit.
mean, maybe they brought her in. Okay.
Yep.
She had no history with Star Wars, right? There was no, I grew up with this.
Right.
There was no, like, I mean,
There is the aspect of this was a job for her,
and
right?
they give her a folder, right?
Yeah.
This is what you need to know. And it is everything George Lucas wrote. All right.
Okay, I got you. Yeah.
Before she was briefed on all this, they had already relegated that stuff to Legends.
Sure.
So that was not in her reference material when she came in. So it's easy for us to say, okay, yeah, look, 1993, right? Tales of the Jedi.
Right.
4,000 years before the Battle of Yavin. That's easy. When you're only briefed on so much.
My thing is this. I'm not trying to lay all this at the feet of Kathleen Kennedy, but I would like to think that within Lucasfilm, there are folks in there when they're looking forward to the future of Star Wars, you know, quote unquote, looking into the future of where things are going to go. You know, they can touch on all of this stuff that came before, and you know, say, look, there is all this. These can be like jumping off points or stories that could be retold or told in a different way, or you know, we can use some of it, not all of it. However, but it's there. It's there for us to do what we will with. And it's the quote, and there's now the realization. For who? I mean, I would like to think that people within Lucasfilm kind of knew, you know, and if there's now the realization for her or whoever, man, do we have all the right people in place here? That's my thing. You know, I'm really dissecting the sentence, and I might be focusing in too much on it, but man,
I'm going to take that a different direction. Okay, now there's this realization that stuff matters. Okay?
Okay.
They...
Doesn't say that, but okay.
It doesn't say that. I'm ad-libbing a little bit.
Uh-huh.
But let's just think of it this way. They made this move to relegate all that stuff to Legends. They came in with the intention of wiping the slate clean.
Right.
They could do whatever they wanted.
Yep.
That didn't necessarily mean they could do whatever they wanted over the whole entirety of what we consider the span of the Star Wars universe. That included everything that was written by George Lucas. So you had episode 1 to episode 6. You had that time frame.
Right.
That's what was on the table for everyone working at Disney Lucasfilm at that time.
Yeah.
This realization that they're talking about is, okay, maybe this stuff matters more than we thought. Fans aren't going to let this go. This Old Republic idea.
I think it's a combination, honestly, because I think you're right. I think when Disney took over, it was, okay, we are changing course. It is all hands on deck. We are going to finish out this Skywalker saga. That's what Disney wants. Okay? Done. And maybe that's what she's referring to, is that, you know, the powers that be within Disney are now realizing, oh, there's all this other stuff that we can tap, and the fans want it? Huh. Okay. You know, but it could be something like that. I would really like to think that this is nothing new for those who work at Lucasfilm.
So, just to, I guess just to contradict everything I said right there, I would like to remind them that it was this Disney Lucasfilm that made a teaser trailer for Rogue One.
Yeah.
In which they used a line from Obi-Wan Kenobi that said, "For 1,000 generations, the Jedi have been the defenders of peace in the Old Republic."
Right.
That was before the Dark Times. Before the Empire.
Right.
1,000 generations is a line you put in there.
Right. Which is what, about 25,000 years. Hey.
Holy shit.
Hey, the math works. That's funny.
So there's this realization.
Yeah.
You're just grabbing lines, putting them in there.
I got a feeling, and clearly we've been talking about this for weeks now, but we're going to start seeing a lot more Disney Plus stuff, probably episodic stuff, and I think they're realizing that they could actually tap into a lot of this stuff that has come before and make it something live action for Disney Plus, and Star Wars fans would eat it up. I mean, God, I'm a big fan of the Tales of the Jedi comics, like we were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I could just imagine a Nomi Sunrider miniseries. That would be phenomenal. I'm hoping that they're looking into this kind of thing, even if it's different stories and different characters, but some of that where you have kind of like the I think we've always talked about Tales of the Jedi is almost kind of being like the a cross between what we know of Star Wars and like medieval knight type stuff too, I could dig it. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, there are so many ways they could go, right?
Yeah.
There is, and even in the current canon, there are things that are mentioned that they could run with.
Yeah.
You're saying like, I didn't realize it was this big. Like, I mean, really, like this canon that you're sticking to right now mentions Darth Bane.
Right.
Yes.
The
originator of the Rule of Two.
Yeah.
In Bane's time, there would have been Sith everywhere.
Right.
If you don't want that, you don't want to go that route. I mean, you could even pick up the story with Zana.
Right.
Bane's apprentice. That would be the first person to carry on his Rule of Two.
Right. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think this is something that they should have been, even if it was on the back burner, but something that should have been kind of brewing, all along. And hopefully they can go down this road and make some good stuff. That's what I'm hoping for, because I think it would be awesome Star Wars material. But I just hope they're not starting from scratch now.
But But yeah, I mean, you've hit the nail on the head with you can do what you did with Thrawn. Okay?
Yeah.
You brought Thrawn back.
Yeah.
But you
Exactly.
didn't bring Thrawn back with everything that was Thrawn before this.
Right. Yep.
Okay, he's getting a new tale.
Yep.
There are a lot of differences between the new Thrawn and the old Thrawn. There's a lot of similarities too,
Sure.
but there are a lot of differences.
Yep.
You can tell stories, like you said, of Nomi Sunrider.
Yep.
You can go further back. I mentioned Bane. I mean, you throw out names like Bane, Nomi Sunrider, Exar Kun,
Oh,
Revan.
yes.
Revan.
Yeah. Star Wars fans would be out of their minds for this stuff. I think I get the feeling that they are starting to realize this, and they're actually starting to toy with the idea of doing something with it, which I'm all for, and I would love to see. So hopefully that's the case, but we'll see.
Dude, you could put Revan's mask on the promotional material for an Old Republic era Star Wars movie. Just put his mask on there. You don't even really have to do anything but mention him in the story.
Right.
But you put his mask on the promotional content, people will come.
Oh yeah. And in anticipation, people would be losing their minds, wondering what they were going to see.
Yep. And you could do nothing but mention his legend,
Right.
and people would be like, holy crap, can you believe that they mentioned Revan?
Right.
They mentioned him. Like that would just,
Oh yeah.
you could tell a story about some new character you created, but mention the teachings of Darth Revan.
Right.
Mention Malik.
Yeah.
And then like I mentioned, Exar Kun. That's
Yeah.
even further back.
I know. All of that stuff would be like, you could tell incredible new stories with those little nods, and that would draw
all
so
these
many
characters-
fans in. God.
All these characters that I've just mentioned, Revan, Malik, Exar Kun, Bane, these are characters that were mentioned in really what was the last book of the old expanded universe,
Ah, yes.
Darth Plagueis,
Right.
or just Plagueis, but Plagueis,
Yep.
the last big book of that era. Widely praised. Fantastic book.
It is an awesome book.
All they did was mention these characters. Told little anecdotal stories about them.
Right.
People went nuts for that stuff. This wide story is sought after.
Yes. It's because it all is the Star Wars universe, and when you can like make callbacks to quote unquote history in the Star Wars universe, it just makes it feel that much bigger, and that that old, that lived in, that, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, and this whole High Republic era, touting right now, right?
Yep.
This whole novel endeavor.
Right.
A lot of fans are feeling like this ain't going far enough.
Yeah, I'd be one of them.
It's playing it safe
Yeah.
because you're going to be able to use characters like Yoda.
Yep.
And not because you're going to be able to, but it's widely speculated that you're going to use. So, and, you're talking about, you got a millennia without Sith in the open. That's canon.
Yeah.
So if you're only going to go back 400, 500, 600 years, you're outside of that Sith in the open range, right? They're going to be in hiding. We know they're there,
Yeah, exactly.
but they've been playing the long game, keeping it quiet. How entertaining is that going to be?
Yeah, I don't know. We're going to have to see what we're going to get from this whole High Republic thing. I think it's still kind of up in the air as to how it's all going to work out, I mean, they've kind of introduced, talked about what the threat's going to be and all, but, we're kind of like in the, well, who knows what that's going to work out like, phase. So,
Yeah, I mean, time will only tell on that one.
yeah.
But it seemed like a very half-hearted commitment.
Right.
Like, oh, we want to go back. But we don't.
Yeah. It's kind of what it seems like.
Well, we'll be keeping an eye on this
Yeah.
because, I mean, if they're just now making this realization that, hey, you got 25,000 years of Star Wars potential. Well, I mean, you haven't been paying attention to your own dialogue.
Right.
But if you have anything to add to that, you can always email us, show@thewarsandmore.com. It's the best way to get a hold of us. We're also on social media. You can light us up there. We're at The Wars and More on Twitter. Facebook.com/TheWarsandMore. You can find all that and all the ways to find the show over at thewarsandmore.com. Any final thoughts, Doug?
No, I think we covered it.
All right. We will talk next week.